quite a great performance from Jones. Not very surprising because I knew that if I could out wrestle Cyril, Jones would be another story. We will have a hot night if Jones could have lay hand on him. But what I do notice is that Jones was rushing. Jones didn't want to give him space because he knew that I think he was afraid of something, maybe of getting exhausted at some point, not be able to like grab him. So he was chasing him from the first minute to grab him. He worked out pretty good, but get me some tell me something like he wasn't very confident. He was rushing, which is good for him.
Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou feels Jon Jones might have been forced to take a rushed approach at UFC 285. Jones and Ngannou were expected to face off for the heavyweight title beginning in 2021, not long after Ngannou defended the belt against Gane at UFC 270. The fight never came to fruition, and it is very unlikely that the fight will ever happen. Despite his breakup with the UFC, Ngannou continues to pay close attention to the division he once reigned. He had a keen eye on the UFC 285 main event for as long as the fight lasted. While Ngannou was impressed by Jones' performance, he also pondered whether or not Jones would have faded quickly had he not gotten a quick submission. Daniel Cormier disagrees with Jon Jones returning to pound-for-pound top spot. Former two-division UFC champion Daniel Cormier doesn't believe that Jon Jones' ascension to the pound-for-pound top spot was warranted. In this week's rankings update, Jones climbed from number 10 to number 1 in the male pound-for-pound order, essentially rendering the heavy debate between previous throne occupier Alexander Volkanovski and lightweight king Islam Makhachev null and void. But for one of Jones' biggest rivals, that shouldn't be the case. During a recent episode of ESPN MMA's DC and RC show, Daniel Cormier reflected on the events of UFC 285, having called the action from cage side alongside Jon Anik and Joe Rogan. "I don't, in my opinion, believe he should be number 1 pound for pound," Cormier said. "I think Alexander Volkanovski should still stay there. I don't think he should be the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Listen closely."
For my opinion, believe he should be number 1 pound for pound. I think Alexander Volkanovski should still stay there. I don't think he should be the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world, but I have no issue with it if people have voted that.
Yeah,
but yes, in the conversation, but again, but this makes it hard for me, right? Because then I come off as a bit bitter, when in reality, I'm not bitter. I've always took this stance, and I'm staying with it.
Stipe Miocic weighs in on the possibility of training with Daniel Cormier for Jon Jones' Showdown. Stipe Miocic hasn't dismissed the idea of training with Daniel Cormier to prepare for a fight with Jon Jones, but it doesn't sound like it's something that's a part of his current plans. Miocic has been bombarded with questions about Jones following the latter's win at UFC 285, and during an interview with TMZ Sports, the 40-year-old was asked if he had any plans to train with his former opponent Cormier in order to prepare for the new heavyweight champion. No. I mean, maybe not, Miocic answered. "I don't know. Right now, just gonna keep getting better and grinding away. And make myself the best I can be." Let's hear it from the man himself.
You know, clearly, obviously, you and DC had what was an amazing trilogy. I think you guys are kind of buddies and respect each other.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Any thought to bring DC in, Stipe, as a training partner for Jon Jones?
No. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Right now, just gonna keep just getting better and grinding away, and just make myself the best that I can be.
Islam Makhachev speaks out on challenges of fighting in Australia. Islam Makhachev successfully defended his lightweight title for the first time against featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. He journeyed to Australia, the home country of his challenger, to headline UFC 284. In an interview with TSN Sports' Aaron Bonstetter, Makhachev spoke about the advantage Volkanovski held due to the lack of weight he had to cut from usual. He said, "The people expect an easy fight from me. Like how I take him down, smash him there, but many things in Australia is different." Makhachev said, Take a look.
Because the people expect from me like easy fight, or how I take him down, smash him there, but you know, many things in the Australia is different. Like all fighters wake up early morning, they don't give us time for the recovery, but Volkanovski don't need some time for recovery. He don't cut too much weight. That's why, you know, all things from his side, area, Australia, like weather and weight, you know, but I just went to the Australia, beat the champion, and I don't care. They give me the place or not. I just have my belt.
Conor McGregor addresses the massage moment captured by CrowdCam at UFC 285. Conor McGregor was involved in one of the more peculiar moments of UFC 285 when his life partner, Dee Devlin, was captured rubbing the exposed chest of the Irishman. The UFC will often display celebrities in attendance at events on the Jumbotron. However, Jake Gyllenhaal and McGregor were in Las Vegas this weekend to film scenes for their upcoming movie, Roadhouse, as well as to attend UFC 285. The Notorious appeared on the big screen alongside Gyllenhaal and Devlin, who began rubbing McGregor's chest in a comical moment. Conor McGregor has now taken to Twitter to address the UFC 285 footage. "Massage through silk," said the Irish superstar. Let's take a look at the video.
Also in the building, the biggest superstar in MMA history, Conor McGregor, and his Roadhouse co-star, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Michael Chandler hints that Nate Diaz gave him advice on beating Conor McGregor. Ahead of his highly anticipated showdown with Conor McGregor, UFC lightweight contender Michael Chandler may have gotten a helping hand from a former opponent of the Irishman's. Chandler will no doubt be studying McGregor's past fights, and that will almost certainly include his two-fight series with Stockton star Nate Diaz, whom Chandler even interacted with while in attendance at UFC 285 this past weekend. Soon after the meeting, Iron hinted that the fan favorite may have passed on some advice when it comes to defeating McGregor. Maybe, Chandler told Inside Fighting whilst laughing. In terms of guidance ahead of a fight with McGregor, Chandler could certainly do worse than Diaz. The Tough 5 lightweight victor handed the Irishman his first UFC defeat back in 2016, securing a submission victory in the main event of UFC 196. Let's take a look at what Chandler said.
Real quick, I seen you chopping it. Sorry, I seen you chopping it up with Nate Diaz. Was he giving you tips on how to beat Conor or what?
Well, maybe.
He's beating him before. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
What were you gonna say?
He said, "Don't you go win it because we're gonna do something." So we'll...
Take a random guess of what Diaz could have said to Chandler. We will be reading those comments. That's all for today's video. If you want to know the latest UFC news, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and click the like button so you don't miss any details about the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. See you soon.